Well, let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the JSE that got a mostly red handover from the Asian markets. One of the interesting company news that came out from China was Tencent. Although it did miss slightly on the revenue line, it did surprise to the upside on a profit, of course, that affecting the holdings in Naspers and Prosus. We are seeing the all share declining on the day by almost 0.5%. That largely being led for a change not by the Resources 10 complex, by the Financial 15 today, that declining more than 2/3%, followed by the Industrial 25 with a loss there of more than 0.5%. Resources 10 complex eking out again, something that we have seen in a while, but a slight gain today of 0.05%. Let's take a look at what is happening in the U.S. markets, and markets they're digesting the latest inflation print. Consumer inflation in October coming in at 2.6% year on year, hotter than the 2.4% that we saw in September, but in line with expectations. Of course, we are still awaiting the producer inflation print to come out this week, and also the retail sales data. In company news, we did notice that Spotify came out with its third quarter results, and as much as it did miss on the revenue and the bottom line, it seems that investors were encouraged by the increase in the number of subscribers there, as the share was up 8%. A mixed picture over there. S&P 500 declining almost 0.1%. The tech-heavy Nasdaq giving up 0.25%, and the Dow backing that trend with a gain of more than 0.1%. Let's take a look at what is happening with the European markets and negative sentiment that we are seeing there across the board. The FTSE 100 declining by more than 0.25%, the CAC 40 shedding more than 0.8%, and the DAX down by almost a similar margin. Let's take a look at what is happening on the currency scene, and we start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. More weakness coming through to the rand by almost 0.5% against the US dollar today at 18 rand 17. Earlier on, we had actually seen it at around 18 rand 1 cent. Against the pound at 23 rand 7 cents, and against the euro at 19 rand 21 cents. Let's take a look at how the other currency pairs are doing, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.05, the pound dollar at 1.27, and quite some weakness on the yen there, as it is above 155 against the US dollar.